it'll be an action-filled race. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, we always put on a heck of a show here, but my Zachary Toyota Tundra was pretty awesome in practice today, but that really doesn't mean anything when you race that ORP. It's action-filled, and you never know what the night's going to bring, but we do got a good truck, and we'll just hopefully be there at the end. If you can be there at the end, you'll have a good finish. It's just crazy out there. It's going to be fun.
All right, we wish you good luck. And, guys, over the last couple of seasons, of course, David Starr right at the top of the list when we're talking short track racing.
And you know, he has probably got the only smile that you can see in a full-face helmet. I mean,
it
you
was
can still
gleaming.
You can still see the ends of his mouth up above the front of his helmet.
Look at that front of that truck bouncing, Michael, going through the corner there. Obviously, these guys trying to get on the springs, coil bind, but that truck is really doing some bouncing through the center of the corner, and that truck right now is the slowest of the 7 trucks, or I'm sorry, of the 8 trucks that have qualified.
Yeah, guys, the last 4 trucks have...
We unplugged everything, turned all the power off to it. I unplugged my kill switch on the steering wheel and replugged everything back up, turned all the power back on, and it was fine. So we're not sure exactly what the problem was, but we fixed it. So hopefully we don't have any more issues tonight. And I think we're going to be good tonight in the race trim. We were good in practice yesterday. So
they were solid last week at Kentucky. Currently 5th is Eric Almirola.
It's really 2 top 5s in a row for Eric Almirola. The last 2 times out, 4th and a 5th place finish.
This is Butch Miller on the racetrack now for his qualifying effort. His first lap, 23.391. Butch in practice earlier, 23.864 was his fastest, so quite a pickup for Butch Miller here in qualifying.
When I was a kid growing up, Rick, that guy right there was as good as there was on the short track.
Sure was.
You think of short track racing, you'd think of Butch Miller, Mark Martin, Mike Eddy, all the guys from up in the northeast. And Midwest,
yeah. Michigan, Butch being from Michigan originally.
Butch Miller's time, 10th quickest of the 10 that have been on the racetrack. It's Taylor Malsom's turn now on the track. That's a name that we mentioned. Welcome back to O'Reilly Raceway Park. AAA Insurance 200 qualifying continues. This time it's the 21 of Nick Tucker on the racetrack, about to get the green flag for his qualifying effort. First lap, 23.534. So he is 15th quick of the 16 that have been on the track in his first lap.
See if Nick can pick it up on lap number 2. He's a couple tenths of a second to move up 1 spot to get by the 0.8 of Butch Miller. He does it all the way up to 23.230 for Nick Tucker. So that will be 14th of the 16 trucks that have been on the racetrack.
And we go back trackside to Adam Alexander.
You see over top of that wall. That's unusual.
This is one of the lowest cement walls that we have on the circuit.
Richard Harriman on the racetrack now for his first Camping World Truck Series appearance. He was 18th quickest in his qualifying effort, 24.054 on lap number 2. Let's go back trackside to Adam Alexander.
Get on the gas later in the Apex. I can get back on the gas real soon, so that says a lot for tonight. So if a little snugger up off the corner, we'd be really good.
Trying to go for history here this evening. 4 wins in a row in the Truck Series. No one has done it.
Wayne Edwards on the racetrack now in the number 47 Chevy Silverado.
That's another truck out of Andy Hillenberg's stables, the 48 of Richard Harriman, teammate to Wayne Edwards here in the 47 truck. 24.108, lap number 1 for Wayne Edwards, 102.439. Ray, who you've caught up with down there?
Well, Phil, I've got Rick Crawford in his truck, and there's only one truck in this field that has ever actually visited victory lane here. It's chassis number 17, and Rick Crawford's in it. Rick, been a while since you won. Can you do it tonight?
Yeah, we got the International Truck and Engine Ford F-150 here tonight. We won the race. It was the Ford Power Stroke Diesel, about 200 by International, and truck's been feeling good all day.
Yeah, we've been messing around with the late models and the modifieds here for a few years, and I mean, we got a bunch of great racers there at R3 Motorsports, and we just decided to have one of everything. So we got the Cup car, the Busch car, the modified, the late model, and now we got a truck. It's a great series. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun racing in it, and I just look forward to my first night.
All right, we wish you good luck, and of course his uncles Jeff and Rick Fuller, and Rob doesn't talk quite as funny as those guys do from up north. Adam?
And Rick Crawford is 6th on the board right now, but you had a little bit of an entertaining ride on the track. Take us through your qualifying run.
That's International Truck and Engine Ford F-150. It's been driving good all day, and it even drove good during the qualifying run. It just lacked a little bit of, got on that Roush Yates horsepower up off the hood. It spun the rear wheels, and it did it both laps. But Kevin Starlin, the crew chief for Circle Bar Racing, he was down here doing trap speeds on me in the middle of 3 and 4, and he said we should have been in the 40s. But if you can't get off a 4, I mean, that pretty well does your lap. But I'm pretty confident about the truck tonight. Hope we have a good night. The last race we won here was for the Ford Power Stroke Diesel.
Now on the racetrack, Jason Cochran in the 89. That Chevy Silverado on the clock.
Another one of the drivers going to make his first ever Camping World Truck Series start tonight.
His truck's wobbly. He's hoping to get her up under him, but it's not doing too well.
Riding very high. That's one of the things that you can see when he throws it into the corners, hits the brakes. The splitter doesn't get down to the ground, so it's staying up quite a bit.
That means that's a conventional spring setup, not the coil bind that a lot of the teams running up front are employing. But right now, slowest truck so far, Jason Cochran, 24.734, 99.846 miles per hour.
And Colin Brown has put the markup of 22.458. That's the fastest time in qualifying.
You know, Rick, the last 3 years here at ORP, one of which qualifying was rained out. But when we qualified in 06, David Reagan sat on the pole driving for Jack Roush. In 08, Bobby East sat on the pole driving for Jack Roush. And now Colin Brown's on the pole. So Jack's been on a roll here when you go for the pole at ORP.
They're making it 3 in a row, or trying to make it 3 in a row.
I think we have one guy that may have something to say about that, Dennis Sesser.
To make a call, see if we can see the spring rubber vacate the 89 truck. There it went.
Looks out of left rear maybe, didn't it?
Yeah.
And sometimes they will have those spring rubbers tied up in there, not even in the spring. But the way it was wobbling around, I think that may have come out of the spring.
What Phil's mentioning is that they're hanging there on the spring, but not in the spring. So on a pit stop, the crew guy can change the tire, shove a spring rubber in, and not lose any time. It's part of what all goes into making one of these 14-second pit stops that you'll see a little bit later on.
Right.
Maybe even 13.
Little tie wrap around that thing to hold it on there, and then we'll shove it into the spring on the pit stop. Now making his way out onto the racetrack, Chris Jones in the number 87.
Chris was 22nd quickest in the final practice. Didn't actually get out in practice number 1.
First time he's been here to ORP. I'm sure it's an eyeful. These big old trucks fill this short track up in a hurry.
We'll see how Chris stacks up against the competition.
Used to be such a huge weekend when we came here with the nationwide cars, just coming to Indianapolis with all the mystique and the pomp and circumstance around Indianapolis. And then, then in 1994, I think we added obviously the Brickyard 400 race, and then 1995 when the Truck Series came into existence. And what a triple header this has become for the last 13, 14 years.
Well, I remember, Phil, and I'm going to reminisce a little bit. 1989, I was fortunate enough to win the race here at ORP on Saturday night, driving in the Nationwide Series. And to me, that was at that time, that was one of the premier short track races in America. The history that this place had to it, and the guys that had won before me, to be able to come here and pull that out. I think I passed Mark Martin late in the going to win. Me and my buddy Scott Mercer loaded up in a Cadillac convertible that I had bought on the way up here and drove back to North Carolina. And I didn't know if it got any better than that. I was pretty much sure if my racing career ended right then, I'd accomplished one of the coolest things ever.
Do you have the trophy in the back seat?
We did.
How about that smile on the Cat in the Hat? Jack Roush smiling about Colin Brown's performance right now.
Going for his 3rd pole in a row here at ORP. No one else has been on the pole when they qualified since 06.
You don't think Jack Roush is committed to this Truck Series program? Obviously, he probably had something going on earlier today, just like you did, but here he is to watch his truck team and Colin Brown, Mike Beam, all the guys, and see how they can do. And I know that smile in Victory Lane in Michigan when Colin Brown took that Conway Ford into Victory Lane was pretty genuine for Jack.
This is Brandon Duchier that's on the racetrack now in the number 83.
He's got a lot of ERs in his name.
It's another new name to the Camping World Truck Series. We're welcoming them. There are 5 new teams that are coming into the Truck Series here at ORP. There's 7 drivers that are new to the series at this racetrack. So we've got some good things happening. You see the nickname Bones. I'm sure they put that on there because Dushier is a little more difficult to say.
Well, when I saw it written down, I thought, there's no way I'm ever going to try to say that. But you said it quite nicely, Rick.
I've been working on it all day.
You took those last bunch of ERs and
just combined them.
Run them all together.
Well, Brandon comes off the racetrack 27th quick in his qualifying effort.